Others work with parents for gender equal parenting. When we have fathers groups, we always sit in circles, so now we sit in circles. When we do fathers groups, we can't sit and wait for men to come. We have to go out where men are. And Desmond went outside and met people in the hall. We many times use a soft toy as a talking stick. You can see the little monkey in the middle. It belongs to this workshop. So I'm going to take it now. Since I am speaking. My name is Vidar Wetterfalk. I come from Sweden, Men for Gender Equality in Sweden. We've been doing fathers groups for gender equal parenting since the 80s in Sweden. And it's such a fantastic thing to see how the work with fathers for gender equal parenting is happening all over the world now. So we will have sharings from different parts of the world. But as it's said in the program, this will not just be an ordinary plenary with presentations and then questions and answers, but this will be participatory, so we will move a bit between own reflections, sharing with your neighbor, and listening to some people sharing some experiences, success experiences, challenges in this work. But I would like to invite you to start with a little exercise, which is to think of a moment. Think of a moment when you had contact with a baby or an older child, when feelings of love, a meeting with the child that raised feelings of love and behavior of care from you. I repeat, think of a moment when you had contact with a baby or an older child, where that child raised feelings of love and behavior of care from you. And then turn to your neighbor and share that experience for a little while. I'll give you 3 minutes for that. Okay? Okay, thank you. So we've opened up a bit to our inner cinemas, where we have a lot of films which are real. Thank you. Now I would like us to move on to just get a little glimpse of what the Men Care campaign is. And Vesel and Ruti, who are the co-coordinators of the Global Men Care, will give us a little presentation. They promise to keep it very short. After that, we will come into more of reflections. So we will move a bit between the head and the heart, throughout the session. So, Ruti?
I got it. Sure. We have a couple of slides, but I think Vesel maybe can set them up. So thank you everybody for being here. This is supposed to be the Men Engage session on caregiving and fatherhood. And Men Care is one of, there are many Men Engage partners who participate in Men Care, and there are also many Men Engage partners who are doing work on fatherhood and caregiving that are not necessarily part of Men Care, and we hope that you'll hear from many of them today. So Men Care is a global fatherhood campaign or initiative. We also talk a lot about caregiving as part of this, and it's now, it comes from sort of a sense of needing to work on unpaid care and parenting as something that's been missing from the kind of global gender equality agenda. And we know that engaged in nonviolent fatherhood and caregiving can really have really important impacts on men, on women, and on children. And it advances, like we heard in the plenary this morning, some of these other goals that we have around violence prevention, for example. So the importance of working on equitable and nonviolent, creating equitable and nonviolent childhoods for children can have really long-term implications for them. So one of the reasons we focused on fathers is because 4 out of 5 men in the world will become fathers during their lifetime, and virtually all men participate in some way in caregiving relationships with with children. And so that's really sort of where the campaign came from. And it builds on the efforts and programs of many partners and programs that have been already doing this work. And we sort of initiated, or Men Care was initiated, to bring all of these things together and really give it more visibility. So we now have the Men Care campaign working in more than 25 countries. And this is a picture from our global meeting in Cape Town a couple of years ago. And again, the goal is really to get men involved in equitable and nonviolent caregiving. And within that, there's also a focus on not just being equitable in terms of caregiving with the child, but also in all of the things that have to happen in the home.
So, hi everybody, I'm over here. There's an invisible monkey. Oh, it became visible. There's a monkey. So this is just a quick diagram to show how the program is structured. Obviously, we will talk about it afterwards. You're welcome to come to us if you're more interested. Our website is really clear. But we use 3 strategies. We want to work both on policy advocacy, we want to work on media, and we then do the direct work. So this presentation today is very much, or this workshop is very much set up in the mode in which we do much of the direct work. Also to say that we do quite a lot of extensive program development, collaborating with lots of work that's been happening already in countries. And that leads to some of the interventions that we are now testing. So, and then we're going to close with Ruti just talking about 2 exciting new initiatives.
Sure. Thanks. I want my monkey back. So just a couple of new initiatives that we're working on at the moment, and both are kind of in the advocacy realm. One is around State of the World's Fathers, which some of you were at the presentation on Monday about this. It's a new report that's going to try to summarize the evidence, the arguments, and data around what does it mean to engage fathers towards gender equality. What is the state of that? We're focusing on three main topics: caregiving, participation in maternal and child health and sexual and reproductive health, and violence, again, all in the context of fatherhood. The other initiative is around, and this one is just starting, around focusing on parental and paternity leave as a mechanism to encourage men to take a more active role in caregiving. And we're going to focus on this in countries where this makes sense, but also looking at other policy alternatives in countries where paternity leave or sort of a organized workforce is not the primary sort of state of the world, and looking at that. So if anybody wants more information, there's a lot of, all the materials are available on the MenCare website. We have a couple of brochures here. We also encourage you to go to the MenCare booth and see the diversity of posters and work from lots of different countries, and you'll hear some of that today. And we just wanted to quickly give you a sense of what MenCare does with this film.
Né, minha mãe, uma vez, quando ele bateu na porta, minha mãe abriu, ele estava alcoolizado, estava bêbado, e deu um soco. Tinha que mostrar que ele era homem.
Mbese abanza kuvuga ati niba nkumwohereje ku ishuri kikaba ikindi kibazo, numva cya gikomere cyanjye kirazamutse. පිරිමියාය මේම තමයි ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ ගේනුම්ගේ වැඩ කරන්න කොහොමද අකමැත්තේනේ. ඒ වුණාට මට මම අම්බ කරලා දෙනවා. එයා ගෙදර ඉඳලා කරනවා. ඒ ඔක්කොම එයා බලා ගයිම.
Eu ficava dentro do meu quarto, digamos assim, delicadão, assim, aqui ninguém mexe. A partir daquele momento ali, ouvindo a história de cada um, aquilo ali me serviu para que eu pudesse ser curado daquilo.
මට ඉස්සරලාම පොඩ්ඩක් ලැජ්ජ වුණා. මේ මාස 3ෙම ගියා වගේ. වෙන එකක් මම මගේ තුල එඟට ආවා වගේ දැනුණා. umukobwa we yimuye buryo nyamara umukobwa wanjye nkumva ni ibintu nawe bimushimye kuba yarahindutse bifite umusaruro ushimishije.
Essa ferramenta é poderosa diante de uma comunidade de transformação. Ela não vem de um monte, ela vem pingo, pingo, pingo. Então torna aquele rio forte.
I just wanted to make one quick mention that if anyone is interested in supporting or participating in the campaign, it's an open campaign. Anyone can join, so please be in touch.
Thank you. And now we will, with sharing some examples, we will follow the structure of the MenCare campaign with the policy advocacy part, with the campaigning and media, and with the direct work. So we will start with some examples from the policy advocacy part, which is also very strongly connected to the structural part, the structures that we are within. And I wanted to ask Douglas from Nicaragua to share something. Where are you, Douglas? Yes.
Hola, buenos días. Hello, morning. I'm Douglas Mendoza from Nicaragua, Central America. I'm working in the Puntos de Encuentro Foundation. This is a feminist organization working in America. And a coordinator for the masculinity program in Nicaragua, Central American. And I am a member for the Central American Networking for Masculinity. I coordinate the program P, a fatherhood program in Nicaragua, and I am a father. I have 2 little boys. My first boy have 8 years old, and my second boy have 45 days. 45 days, yeah. When we created the fatherhood program in 2010, yeah, I participate with my another colleagues from Brazil and Chile and Nicaragua with Osvaldo and me. We create the second episode to who work with father group, and we create different session, groupal session for involved father to participate in the pregnancy, in the prenatal, postnatal, on the birth date. Put different information about who collaborate with your wife, present in the birth date. Because in this time I don't have many information. I work with the masculinity, but don't have information for who involve the father in different process. But when we create the program P, work with the father group, I have more information, and I work with 300 young father in Nicaragua. It's a trainer to a trainer, but in this second experience, the father in Nicaragua, in this time in 2006-7 is forbidden the men going to the hospital with your wife. But in 2010, the national government is approached to the public policy for the men is possible to go to the hospital with the wife. But all men in Nicaragua, they don't have this information. 45 days ago, when I was in the hospital with my wife, for me is inexplicable experience when I was in the hospital, because it's a cesarean with my wife. And when I stay with my wife, take the son, I remember only put information put in the manual. Your wife don't have a pin, the breathing. I remember all the information put in the manual program P, and in this moment I feel comfortable stay with my wife. And another in Nicaragua, we work with the health sector, health provider information, training to a trainer. In this space, this only doctor present in the room. I stay with me in different workshops about fatherhood. Yeah, I feel more comfortable because the doctor talk with me. Douglas, are you feel good? Are you sure you no fall down? Are you preparing? I say good all the time, asking for me all the time. For me, this experience is more motivator for me for work with father group. And in the program in Nicaragua, I work with 300 fathers around the Nicaragua and 3 and with this experience, I prepare more for the men, because every father they want to present, but they don't have information who participate in this moment. With this 300 father, it's like a 30 father participate in this experience, but we work together for preparation because we need the information for this moment.
Of the structural change that you have been part of creating in Nicaragua, and you do also have some film, a short film. Yeah, okay, so it's coming.
Decir te amo, te extraño, felicidades. Aquí. Ser capaz de buscar, abrazar, besar y recibir con cariño en cualquier lugar y en cualquier momento. Al final, un niño o una niña que recibe abrazos y besos de su papá se siente mejor al ir a la escuela, hace mejor sus tareas, pero sobre todo, es una persona que se siente amada y aceptada. Abrazar a nuestros hijos e hijas también nos permite recibir su amor en un abrazo. ¿Y quién no quiere ser amado por sus hijos e hijas?
Yeah, this is a national campaign for fatherhood in Nicaragua. We promote with the health sector in Nicaragua, involve father in this process. Yeah.
Thank you. Colleagues from Russia, they are in the guest house with Delhi Belly today, so that's why they're not here. But so I will share a little bit from their work in the Russian context. They started up work with fathers and fathers groups for gender equal parenting, and they step by step they had live examples of fathers who took part in the parenting of their children, and they were able to use this as an advocacy tool for change on policy level. And the participants in the groups became agents for change, not only in their own families, but in the society. So one change they managed to get through was to change the law so that men can be present in the delivery room, which was not possible before that, only in some private clinics for a high fee. Another thing they succeeded in, which is far beyond what we've managed in Sweden still, is to get political decision in St. Petersburg that fathers groups should be available in all 16 districts of this big city. And it's a great success in a very difficult context. We also have our Belarusian friends over here. They managed to get fathers groups into the plan in Belarus, the 5-year national plan, to get fathers groups in all regions of Belarus. And they're working on that right now. We work on that together. Yes, so that's some examples. Now I would like you again to turn to your neighbor for a little while, focusing on another question. You can reflect on what you just heard and saw, and think of examples of policies that needs to be changed and policies that needs to be in place in your own context to promote gender equal parenting. Your own experiences, maybe you have also worked with this, successes and challenges in that. For about 3 minutes, okay? Please. Yeah.
María Eugenia. María Eugenia. Ah, María Eugenia.